be your host for today. Ministry of Education, MOE, Government of India is making every possible effort to drive innovation and entrepreneurship to emerge as one of the focal points of our education system. Thus, MOE, Government of India has established Institutions Innovation Cell, IIC, to systematically foster the culture of innovation amongst all higher education institutions. Taking part in this initiative, Institutions Innovation Council of Bengal Institute of Technology, that is IICBIT 5.0, presents the seminar on the topic Entrepreneurship Skills, Attitude and Behavior Development. Thereby, I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you all to this wonderful session where our guest speaker of the day is Professor Subhanan sir. Sir is here today to share his story and his insights about entrepreneurship and inspire us so that we could also be among the successful entrepreneurs in the coming future.
Before we start the seminar, I would like to call our principal sir, Professor Dr. N.C. Ghosh, the President of IICBIT, Dr. Arpita Chakraborty ma'am, our Chief Guest Speaker, Professor Subhanan sir, the Vice President of IICBIT, Dr. Tapan Kumar Pal sir, to be kindly seated on the dais.
Now, I would request our principal sir, Professor Dr. N.C. Ghosh sir, to say a few words to commence this session.
Resource person, Professor Subhanan Dey. He is from ICFAI Business School, and also another guest from ICFAI, Ms. Shantani Bhome, who is there. And here on the dais we have Professor Arpita Chakraborty, President of IICBIT, and Dr. Tapan Kumar Pal, who is the Vice President of IIC 5.0 now, and our faculties. And also the faculties, they know that our IIC 4.0, our students should be proud of that, 4.0, because of all of you, our IIC 4.0 of say BIT has become one of the fifth. IIC say scored 3.0 and in Eastern India, and one institute from Eastern India got 3.5 and 5 institutes got 3.0. Out of that, BIT is one of them, right? It is because of our IIC team member together with the students. So students, without you, whatever we do, the existence of colleges will not be there. So we will always take pride of your activities and also your emotion, enthusiasm. So today's program is on entrepreneurship, skill, attitude and behavioral development, right? So you all are doing engineering education, right? In engineering education, without application, see, don't think about, say, getting a job. Think beyond that. Think beyond that. We are here to help you out, to ignite your brain, and also to synthesize your brain, so that in future you can just take lead in your whatever approaches, mind and brain. Okay, so entrepreneurship skill is one, then your attitude is another, which is very much necessary. Without attitude, no one can develop, Or expert is there, he will just make you understand what all these things mean. And another important, which is irrespective of ages, behavioral development. It is lifelong. One will try to improve it, It's not that it's not applicable for me, it's applicable for me also. Behavioral development, it's a lifelong process. And if you improve your behavioral approach, then lot of problems, you can just solve it by your behavior, by your behavior. So keep it in mind that all these words makes a meaning, right? So again, I will heartily welcome our resource person today. So they are here to just share their thoughts in business side as well as what is there in the management side. Engineering education is not simply, learning some soft skill or whatever they think, it will not be there. So your participation, your encouragement, your enthusiasm is necessary for this college to grow. With these words, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for the words of wisdom and encouragement. President of IICBIT 5.0, Dr. Orpita Chakraborty, ma'am, to say something.
Very good afternoon to one and all present here, and we heartily welcome renowned professor to our institute today. We are very honored to have him with us. As sir had already announced that in result of IIC 4.0, we are all over the country. 1823 institutions participated in IIC program, and only 153 institutions across the country have been achieved only 3-star. And BIT is one of them, as sir has already mentioned. And in this eastern region, only 5 institutes have earned these 3 stars, and BIT is one of them. So we are feeling proud. It's an achievement really. So it is the achievement not only of us, it is the teamwork, all of your participation. You were in the first year, but the second year, third years have already been participating in the previous events. And we hope that you will be also participating in the events. So we have come to this engineering college. Most of us are actually opting for the job. But it's a request that don't be only job seeker. You have to be job provider. And that is a mantra which is spread by the Ministry of Education. And with that motto in their mind, they are spreading these institutions, innovation councils in all the higher education institutes. So it's a request that whatever you do, don't do just Control-C, Control-V things, but come out of the box thing which is not there. Okay, so in innovative ways. Once I heard a story that a father was searching for a groom for his single daughter, only daughter. And he got an entrepreneur and immediately he rejected him. What was the reason? Job security is not there. Then after some time he got another one, and he found him very much eligible for that, for his daughter, and everything was settled. And incidentally it is found that this eligible groom is actually the employee of that entrepreneur. So now the situation is, now the job security is more here. So this is the mindset we are having, but we have to come out of this mindset. We have to think in other way that we can also lead. Okay, so we should learn today many more things about these things in detail from our expert sir. Sir is here today. So without wasting further time, we should go to that. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to request my co-host Anushka to introduce our guest speaker.
Professor Subhanan sir has been associated with the IBS Kolkata campus for the past 10 months as a full-time faculty member and teaches marketing management, retail, product and brand management. Prior he was associated for a year with IBS Kolkata as a visiting faculty. He has a corporate experience of years in the retail, travel and media industry, having worked with industry giants like Future Group, MakeMyTrip.com, Ahmedabad Potrika and Spencer's Retail Limited in various
Thank you. Introduce our guest speaker.
Professor Subhanan sir has been associated with the IBS Kolkata campus for the past 10 months as a full-time faculty member and teaches marketing management, retail, product and brand management. Prior he was associated for a year with IBS Kolkata as a visiting faculty. He has a corporate experience of years in the retail, travel and media industry, having worked with industry giants like Future Group, MakeMyTrip.com, Ahmedabad Potrika and Spencer's Retail Limited and postgraduate program in retail management from IISWB in Kolkata, both in first class. Now I would request our guest speaker to please take over. Over to you, sir.
I'm sure there's a lot to learn from that. Thank you so much to the entire team of BIT for giving us the opportunity to be here today. Thank you, and I think the next few minutes, once I go and take the session, trust me, I wanted dialogue rather than a monologue. So, I will be there in the midst of all of you, and we will carry on with the job then, okay? I want a lot of participation from your end, okay? Just not, being seated there and listening to me. And what I try and put across is more than the theories, which I'm sure that you learn a lot. But how do you put things into application and into perspective? And how do you take things? Thank you so much. So without wasting much time, let me quickly go across to this small deck, this PPT that I have prepared for all of you. Okay? Right? Wonderful. Okay. Let me show you something. Do we know who he is?
Yes, sir.
Mark Zuckerberg. Perfect. Thank you so much. What's the universe that he's known for? Metaverse. Wonderful. Wonderful. Who's this? Wonderful. Wonderful. And what's his empire known as? So you have a wonderful bunch of students, huh? Lovely. Can I get it a little tougher now? Who's this? Yeah, I know you're smart enough. You could see that logo in the background, so you could guess it's Starbucks. But who's he? You can keep your smartphones away though. Don't Google him. I know you'll be all engineering students and smart enough to Google it out. But can anyone take a wild guess also as to who he is? Not quite there. Let's hear some more. No guesses. Okay, don't worry, I'll give it to you. This was a little hard. Let me give you one small statistics that again, the world is undergoing a recession. So you never know, how many of the people will be laid off. Today I opened Economic Times. Around 13% layoffs being done in Zomato, if you're aware of. Okay. If you would have looked at the papers last week, we had Twitter, and I'm sure you know that along
this coffee house company. But did you know that the former CEO of Starbucks, Howard Schultz, was born and raised in poverty, barely making ends meet? And when things got really tough, he even had to sell his blood a couple of times. This is the success story of Howard Schultz, how he went from living in poverty and struggling for money to survive to transforming Starbucks into a $100 billion company. And he was just a young boy who never stopped dreaming, and here is why you shouldn't stop too. He was born in a very poor family. He spent his childhood living in a small one-bedroom apartment from a public housing project. His father was an army vet and a truck driver and spent most of his life working low-paid jobs. When Howard was only 7 years old, while delivering diapers, his father fell on the ice and broke his leg. And because of this, he was fired from his job. And with no medical insurance and no savings, his family was struggling for money. That image of his father laying on the couch, feeling hopeless, crushed and defeated, left a permanent mark in his memory. It was one of the biggest defining moments in Howard's life. And to get away from all of these problems, he used to sit on the staircase in his building, dreaming of a better life. He played football in high school and earned an athletic scholarship to go to college, but he didn't want to play sports and decided to major in communications. So to pay for college, he had to take student loans and worked many odd jobs to make ends meet. Few times he even had to sell his blood for money to survive. After graduating from college, Howard worked at a ski lodge and as a salesman, but he had a desire to work at Starbucks. At that time, Starbucks had 3 owners and only sold coffee beans. So at the age of 29, after a full year of convincing the owners to hire him, he finally got a job at Starbucks. While on a business trip to Italy, he walked into an Italian coffee shop and he was fascinated by his experience while drinking coffee. He was amazed by the fact that the owners of the coffee shops actually knew their customers, and they even called them by their names while serving them coffee. Excited, he traveled back to the US, trying to convince the Starbucks owners to accept these incredible new ideas, but the owners rejected him. So Howard quit Starbucks and went on to create his own coffee company called Il Giornale. But he had no money to fund this company. In the course of the year I spent trying to raise money, I spoke to 242 people and 217 of them said no. Try to imagine how disheartening it can be to hear that many times why your idea is not worth investing in. It was a very humbling time. But eventually, enough people believed in his vision and decided to invest in his business. He worked extremely hard to open his first coffee shop where he could replicate the experience he had in Italy and finally implement his ideas. After a few years, Starbucks went bankrupt and Howard bought the company and became CEO of Starbucks. He rebranded his company with the Starbucks name and expanded across the United States. Today, Starbucks has more than 30,000 stores around the world and market value over $100 billion. And Howard has an advice for you. In life, you can blame a lot of people and you can wallow in self-pity, or you can pick yourself up and say, listen, I have to be responsible for myself. I believe life is a series of near misses. A lot of what we ascribe to luck is not luck at all. It's seizing the day and accepting responsibility for your future. It's seeing what other people don't see and pursuing that vision. I feel so strongly that the reason I'm here is I dreamed big dreams. I dreamed the kind of dreams that other people said would not be possible. I cannot offer you any specific secret recipe for success, the perfect plan, how to reach the pinnacle of success in the business. But my own experience suggests that starting from scratch and achieving much more than what I dream about is quite possible. But if you wait for the perfect conditions, you'll never get anything done. But the good thing is, you can make a decision and take control now. Remember something, a year from now, you may wish you had started today. So what's your story?
That you saw? Never give up, perfect, and do what your heart wants. Absolutely. I think a big thing that she has told, I'll just elaborate one part. I think she already mentioned the part of my deliberation a little later, but since she mentioned, let me tell you one small thing, my dear students. You're very, very young, just in the first years of your engineering is what I'm given to understand. But trust me, all of you are not good at everything. Your friends might be, some of you might be good at communication, the other part, might be good at calculations. Your right brain and your left brain development might have been different. But what happens is you will have a gut feeling within yourself that this what I'm doing is right or this what I'm doing is wrong. What happens is you will have to identify that passion from yourself. The passion for her and the passion for you will not be the same. So early on in life, try and understand in whatever you do, please listen to your heart, okay? And that's what exactly he did. He always wanted to be an entrepreneur. We give a very nice terminology, which is called as passionpreneur these days, okay? Be a passionpreneur. Because what happens is, every day in the morning, if you wake up with the thought that why am I going to office and that boss is again going to curse me, you will never love that job, even if you're doing a job. And if you're an entrepreneur, if you do not love what you're doing, then you will not be able to invest in yourself as well as in the lives of the others. So therefore, listen to your heart. I think a brilliant kind of thought, which I think she has given to us. Okay, let me go to the next one. Yeah. You know who he is? I think this is an easy question, should be answered. Yes. He's just a graduate, let me tell you, he's just a graduate. He's not even an MBA or done any kind of a management course, okay? But he had that passion for himself. I'll tell you a story. You know, he was in a college, and outside college, you know, there was a small stall of a Didi who used to sell momos at that point of time, and only veg momos, right? And there was humongous kind of an attraction with regards to buying momos from this Didi outside the college area, right? And that's why he got the idea that, okay, momos can fetch so many and so customers, okay? Imagine I'm talking about the year 2008. All of you have gone to South City Spencer's? So at least some of you, some feeble yes is what I heard. But if you ever go to South City, and if you go to the South City Spencer's, he had that 150 square foot store only inside Spencer's, which happened to be the first kind of wow momo outlet. Now in today's date, he has opened up nearly 300 outlets pan in vegetable seller in Agra. He was well known in the market for always selling fresh vegetables. He used to wake up in the morning at 3 a.m. to get there. And I'm sure you know, like that in Agra also there was a mandi in which, you know, this Pratap had gone down. However, during summers, a lot of leftover vegetables used to get wasted at the end of the day. To stop this wastage, he started selling the stale vegetables. Now this earned him a bad name in the market, and people stopped going to his shop. Pratap then came up with an idea: vegetables home delivery services. Vegetables getting home delivered. People could order the type and quantity of vegetables they wanted a day before, and Pratap could buy exactly that much from the wholesale market and deliver it fresh to their house. Now his customers do not have to go through the inconvenience of commuting to the market, and thus can have the vegetables delivered at their doorstep. All they have to do is call Pratap on his mobile phone and place an order. My question to the class, to the audience out here would be, do you think that Pratap has done a good job by starting off with this new venture of his? Yes? Okay, why has he done a good job? Can any one of you please explain to me why has he done a good job? Why do you say a yes to this? Huh? Now don't worry, you can say once again. Share your thoughts.
Now there is no food wastage anymore.
Perfect, so there is no food wastage anymore. Okay, that's number one. Anything else?
It was earlier, it was
Correct. So he just had to purchase that specific amount which is required. Anything else? Anything else? Yes?
Convenience for the customers.
Perfect. Convenience for the customers. Anything else? Now I give you the second question. I'll come back to the answers of the first question. Thank you so much for contributing. Now second question, what are the potential problems even in this new kind of a business that Pratap has come up with, do you think he will face? What are the kind of challenges that he is going to face? It can be as crude as possible, but can you think and contribute? Yes?
So the power of mouth, actually, if
Yes.
I am buying from him, sir,
Yes.
I will tell him.
Correct.
Then he will ask him to do.
Absolutely.
He's one person, he can't give to all of the area.
Excellent. Thank you so much. What's your good name?
How much would you?
Tanmay. Wonderful answer. Thank you so much. Perfect.
You should expect.
Anything else? Anything else? Yes?
He has to go to every customers or to everyone's home.
Okay. Now I'll tell you the answer to the first one, okay, whether he has done a brilliant job or not. Yes, he's definitely done a brilliant job, as you have rightly told. Now one is, with regards to since all of you are engineering graduates, right, you understand what demand forecasting is, a big terminology, but end of the day, to understand what the consumer requirements are and to reach that, right, what he told. It's about nothing but supply chain management in the language of management, okay? So he's fixed the supply chain management also nicely so that, it's delivered to the doorstep at one go. The third is the ease of ordering. Some of you told, so he just needs to call up this person and take the order. But trust me, the second question, as his business grows, okay, will this same person be able to take all the phone calls? No. So he has to take in some person under him who can take the phone calls on his behalf? And that's why, the modern age companies are having call centers in place. He will also have to face the challenge and probably have to do something which is called as omni-channel retailing, in which he has to make some app also, in which customers can order, or some website also. And the big thing is what Tanmay mentioned. As your business is growing, the challenge he will face is, he cannot call everyone up. His business has to grow. One is the word of mouth that he was talking about, that if Tanmay speaks good to the rest of the world, then of course the inner surroundings within and around Tanmay would be knowing about his services, about Pratap's services. But the rest of the world will not be knowing. So getting the world know about Pratap's business. So that's called as marketing and promotion in terms of management language. Okay? So for an entrepreneur, what all are therefore required? One is to understand the consumer psyche. Number one, what is the consumer wanting? What are the consumer needs and demands? The second thing is therefore demand forecasting. The third thing is convenience. The fourth thing is taking across employees under your foray. And fifth, serve them properly. Last but no way the least, market yourself, go and do a proper promotion so that people know about you, people endorse you and come back to you. These 5 things which I have now talked about is the crux of your entrepreneurship. Have you got it? Any queries, any questions? In layman's language as well as in our management pedagogical language, I have told you this. So through this story I have told you what exactly entrepreneurship exactly demands. For someone, maybe the creatives that you see in the newspapers, maybe tomorrow Spencer's has a sale of buy one get one free, and you will find that an ad is coming up. Who does those ads? It could be some freelancers who is designing those ads. Now imagine for a fact that, have you all heard, and what is that one thing common to all of us which we do every day from morning till night, and even while I am giving a lecture, what is that one thing some of us are constantly still doing? And most of us spend our time, considerable amount of time during the entire day doing internet, mobile, absolutely, perfect. So what happens is, in today's date, you will find that you do a lot of YouTubing. Scrolling. Am I speaking to any YouTuber out here? Yeah, so do you get money from YouTube?
Yeah, I get money from I do video editing.
Awesome. So you do the video editing. Perfect. What's your good name? Souvik. So Souvik is also an entrepreneur. He is generating money for himself just by editing YouTube videos. Mind across the one who has a lot of likes and followers and who is the major YouTuber in place. Sit down. So therefore, today a YouTuber is also an entrepreneur. Today an influencer, you understand what an influencer is? On social media platforms, maybe on Instagram or on Facebook, there will be companies who will be getting in touch with you simply because you have a lot of fan following, and they tell you to boost their products through your platform. Is it not? So being an influencer is also being an entrepreneur. Okay? So think of those lines. Instead of doing a job 24/7, you could also think of those lines of becoming an entrepreneur. Okay? So recall the person KSA model. What's that KSA? The first thing of a K is the knowledge. Okay? Knowledge is nothing but the basic facts, the theories, the information, so on and so forth. Now, if I am to ask you that how many of you read the newspaper today, or today's newspaper, how many of you have read actually? I think Tanmay has read. Anyone else? Or truthful people? Yeah, I understand. Gen Z is also into not reading of newspapers at all. But how do you consume news? How do you get to know about the news items?
Google.
Internet, Google, perfect. And social media, perfect. So you consume social media, you get YouTube, through which you get the news in place. Correct. So therefore, that's shots. That's an app where you get the newspapers in place. Okay. Take across one good English daily. It could be the Telegraph, it could be the Times of India, it could be Economic Times. Read the first page and read the editorial page nicely. What happens is you would be getting to know what is happening around the world through that first page and through that editorial page.
Subhanan, a faculty member of ICFAI Business School, for his wonderful speech on this event and this will very sure that this will encourage the student for becoming a future entrepreneur. We are also thankful to our principal sir, Professor N.C. Ghosh, for his presence and share his valuable thought and support to carry out this event. I would also thanks to our President, Professor Dr. Orpita Chakraborty, and convener, Professor Debolina Bari, and all the coordinators of IICBIT teams, and those who are working really very hard for continuing this arrangement, this kind of seminar and events to motivate the student. I will also express our heartiest gratitude and big thanks to Professor Debashis Pradhan for his help and support for executing this event. I would like to big thanks to Professor Sudipto Ratto, IIC Calendar Activity Coordinators, Professor Bulbul Mukherjee, Professor Kulkara Das, Professor Sharantani Sinha, Professor Rajesh Roy, Professor Shukra Sarkar, Professor Shreyashi Maiti, Professor Vishirin Maiti, and Mr. Mrs. Orpita Chakraborty and Mrs. Tulina Chakraborty, Professor Sutapa Aishwari, and Professor P.Ali Pradhan for arranging these events. I would like to thanks to all the student volunteers, Anushka Mukherjee, second year CSE, and Deepika Pradhan, second year CSE, for helping in this event. I also thanks to Mayuri Banerjee, IT second year, who designed this banner of this event. Ritu Mondal, CSE second year for videography, and Vishal Kumar Jadhav, CSE second year for photography. Finally, I would like to thank all the participants, including the faculty members of different departments of IIT, and especially all the students who are participating in this workshop and those who are interact with the speakers. Thank you all. Again.
Request all of the participants present here to collect the certificates one by one.